this live, I'm going to be looking at Esther chapter 3. We are still just talking about the book of Esther. It has about 10 chapters. I keep thinking it has 4 chapters. It has 10 chapters, so we have 7 chapters left. I missed you guys. I mean, it's been how many days? It's just been maybe about like 3 days. I think my last live was last week Friday, last week Thursday. So I said Saturday, Sunday, quiet, and now I'm back again. I was gonna be back at the end of the week, but I'm very grateful for Verticom's advance. So when I was here, we ended off in chapter 3, so it is 6 chapters left. And in chapter 3, this is when Ahasuerus, Esther's husband, gave Haman the positions and the authority for him to rule over Shushan. He allowed Haman to set up laws, to sign laws set up. I want to just put baseline on my face, on my lips. Really, really dry, and it is so cold. So the last time we read, what is disgusting? I'm putting baseline on my lips. Hello, everyone who's just come in. Or is it my teddy bear? I don't know which is disgusting here. So Ahasuerus gave, hello everyone who's just come in. How are you guys doing? Ahasuerus gave Haman a lot of authority. He could sign laws, he could put laws. And now everything seemed to be okay. Ahasuerus does not know at this point that Haman has already set up against Mordecai. He doesn't know that. There are people who are already telling Mordecai to bow down. Why is he not bowing down to Haman? And Ahasuerus doesn't know all of this. He doesn't know what's going on with Mordecai, and that this is going to affect his wife eventually, because Mordecai is her uncle. Thank you, IDCs. So now I'm going to be reading Esther chapter 4. When Mordecai perceived all that was done, Mordecai rent his clothes, and put on sackcloth with ashes, and went out into the midst of the city, and cried with a loud and a bitter cry. So chapter 4 starts out with Mordecai, who has just seen everything that's going on. The level of authority and the level of honor given to Haman, when Haman is actually the enemy of the Jews, and is enemy to Esther and is his enemy as Mordecai. He goes out to the street, he rents his garments, and he cries. He is mourning because of what is going on. He's not happy. And came even before the king's gate, for none might enter into the king's gate clothed with sackcloth. And in every province whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, there was great mourning among the Jews, and fasting and weeping and wailing, and many lay in sackcloth and ashes. So Esther's maids and her chamberlains came and told it her. Then was the queen exceedingly grieved, and she sent raiment to clothe Mordecai, and to take away his sackcloth from him, but he received it not. So Mordecai saw this. He saw Haman being exalted and was very, very bitter. He mourned. And when the Jews saw him mourning and realized what was going on, they also mourned and sat in sackcloth in this city. And Esther now is told, her maids come and tell her, and the chamberlains tell her what's going on, and she doesn't like what's going on. She doesn't like it from the point of view of Mordecai being naked. She probably wasn't thinking about what was going on to how it was going to affect her as a person. She was probably just thinking, he's naked in the street, let him be clothed. She sends raiment to him, but he doesn't receive that raiment. And I don't know if she sent that raiment and he doesn't receive it because of the influence of Haman, or he doesn't receive it because of the influence of those men who are with Haman, or he doesn't receive it because he receives it and doesn't want to wear it. So I don't know the reason why he doesn't receive it and what that actually means. And he says he doesn't receive it. But it could be that the men who are with Haman and the men who are with Ahasuerus in the court don't accept that Mordecai is not giving honor to Haman. And now seeing him in the street, it seems as if he's bringing dishonor. He even comes to the gate, and at the gate he's not allowed to come in because no one comes in the gate wearing sackcloth. You need to be fully clothed very well, and just be normal like everyone else. So verse 6 reads, So Hatak went forth to Mordecai unto the street of the city, which was before the king's gate. And Mordecai told him of all that had happened unto him, and of the sum of the money that Haman had promised to pay to the king's treasuries for the Jews to destroy them. Also he gave him the copy of the writing of the decree that was given Shushan to destroy them, to shew it unto Esther, and to declare it unto her, and to charge her that she should go in unto the king to make supplication unto him, and to make request before him for her people. And Hatak came and told Esther the words of Mordecai. Again Esther spake unto Hatak, and gave him commandment unto Mordecai. So Hatak now tells Mordecai about the decree that has been made. There's a decree that Haman has signed and put up, a decree to destroy the Jews. So destruction could come in any way, but this ultimately goes and destroys the queen, who is Esther. So Mordecai is told by Hatak this, and he doesn't like it. He doesn't like it. He goes to Esther. He tells her about the decree. And Esther doesn't know about the decree. She doesn't know about what's happening. She's in the palace and she doesn't know what's happening in the streets. Mordecai goes and tells her, and she and asks her to go and enter to the king, and tell him about this because this is going to destroy her too. All the king's servants and the people of the king's provinces do know that whosoever, whether man or woman, shall come unto the king into the inner court, who is not called, there is one law of his to put him to death, except such to whom the king shall hold out the golden scepter, that he may live. But I have not been called to come in unto the king these 30 days. And they told to Mordecai Esther's words. Then Mordecai commanded to answer Esther, think not with thyself that thou shalt escape in the king's house more than all the Jews. For if thou altogether holdest thy peace at this time, then shall their enlargement and deliverance arise to the Jews from another place. But thou and thy father's house shall be destroyed. And who knoweth whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this? So Esther now knows and has been told that the king does not accept anyone in his court unless he has called them. If you haven't been called and you dare to enter into his court, and he doesn't hold out his golden scepter to you, he's going to kill you. So apparently the waiting time to be called by the king is about 30 days. If you're going to send a request, you wait 30 days to be called by the king, and if he doesn't call you, then you just leave him alone. Um, so Esther tells Mordecai this, and Mordecai says, well, answer her and tell her that she shouldn't think she's safe because she's queen. Don't think you're safe because you're queen. You think because you're sitting in the palace and you are the wife to the king that you're safe from this destruction. Haman's going to kill you too. If he kills the Jews and kills me as your uncle, he's going to kill you too because you are a Jew too. And so Mordecai was reminding Esther of her roots, her belonging, her identity. Her identity never changed in Shushan. Who she was before is who she was as queen. Shushan never changed. So that's what Mordecai is trying to tell her. Mordecai is telling her that your identity, you are a Jew. In Shushan, for example, I'm Queen of Esther. I'm Queen of Mindful America. I was born on Seventh-day Adventist, and whether I collaborate with President Biden, who's Catholic or not, at a time when Catholics are eating, so I see them as eaters, and they're eating, and that as a human being, they're eating and they're cleaning up and all of that could potentially destroy and kill me. So when they do what they're doing and then come even to the corruption of my flesh, which is the burning of my body and so on, these are the type of things that I should realize that I'm Seventh-day Adventist could be Queen of Haman for America. my identity hasn't changed and it will never change. So when I have the messages at the cleansing of the temple, and I know about the eaters, the President Bidens, the President Trumps, and all of these people that I've even grown to be so fond of now, I should not forget it, because there's going to be this urge to run away from my identity, and there's no need for that. So that's what Mordecai was telling Esther, and I see it. It is important to me too. It is very important. I realize I have my messages from 2020, and I was in Just Movement. Just Movement kicking me out does not remove that I studied the Jeff. I studied Just Messages. That's not gonna be removed. Whether someone tries to come and scrape my mind or for whatever it is to try and blaspheme against what God has allowed to take place in my life, it doesn't remove what God's done in my life. I was born a Seventh-day Adventist. I went to Jeff's movement. I became a prophetess. I have my own prophetic messages, and life has moved on. So that is the type of work that Mordecai is trying to remind Esther of, the identity. She shouldn't forget her identity and think that because now she's in the palace in Shushan and everything's lovely there, that now she should neglect her duties of understanding where her people are, because that's where she is. Where her people are, that's where she is. Then he says, well, you must remember that you probably are in the kingdom for such a time as this. For such a time as this is a symbol that I've been using for a very long time now. For such a time as this, you're called to be Esther. I've been using this for quite some time. 2020, I started using it more frequently, more often, because it became more relevant to me as an individual. For such a time as this, Queen of Haman for America, my own messages, and I'm kicked out of Just Movement. It could be that because when I look at how I was kicked out of Just Movement, the reasons behind it don't actually match the magnitude of someone who's so sinful to that extent, who's in error. So the way that I was kicked out of the movement is like God was just, or Just Movement was just trying to kick me out, run away. Like run, go. Go into God's work. Maybe for such a time as this, you will come out with the messages of Islam during this time, and you will then be the person who God uses to do a work for this time, that will then come back and help the people that have been in these movements with you. Go. So I became Queen of Haman for American. I do not for any reason belittle that position. I started out in 2020, and it almost felt like there was no direction. I didn't even have a registered business. I was looking at no lean and other people online trying to figure out if I was going to be in real estate or if I was going to be in tech 2021, if I was going to be a baker or whatever it is I was going to become. I didn't know what I was going to become. And so with my messages being Queen of Haman for America, I didn't have that name yet. I just knew, oh, I'm probably typifying Esther or Queen Victoria or Ellen White, because it just fits. It just fits. I didn't have anything that was so stable and so solid yet. And from 2020 to 2025, I registered Melamisi, this business. This business is legally operating in South Africa. Everything that I take up next year, I want to do nursing and take up brand partnership with Uber Eats as an Uber Eats driver, employed by Melamisi to partner up with Uber Eats as a driver. That those are things that are activities of this registered business. For such a time as this 15 reads, Then Esther bade them return Mordecai this answer, Go, gather together all the Jews that are present in Shushan, and fast ye for me, and neither eat nor drink 3 days, night or day. I also and my maidens will fast likewise, and so will I go in unto the king, which is not according to the law, and if I perish, I perish. So Mordecai went his way, and did according to all that Esther had commanded him. Esther says to Mordecai, he must go. They will fast, for 3 days. At the end of the 3 days, night or day, where they are not going to eat or drink. So it was a dry fast. She will then go into the king, and this is where it ends. Now Mordecai goes and leaves her. So she says, if I perish, I perish. I'll go into the king, and if I perish, I perish. In 2020, and the reason why I'm so happy now, and I'm talking about these things, is because my captivity has ended. My captivity has ended, so I have the confidence to talk about these things now and keep talking about them and keep talking about them and gain strength after strength every day from God, knowing that my captivity has ended. There are still advantages where certain parts of my body, I feel as if the members are being taken advantage of by all sorts of different things. So I know for a fact that when we were studying from 2015 to 2020, the understanding was that Salome was going to have her dance, and then Herodias is going to, Salome goes to Herod, has a dance. Herod asks her, what do you want? I'll give you about half of my kingdom. And she runs to her mother, and then she gets there and she says, Mommy, he says, what do I want? And Herodias says, well, just tell him you want the head of the John the Baptist. So we knew a long time ago that when 3ABN was starting up with Jeff in 2001 and they were kicking him out, they already had planned witchery against him. It was leading up to 2021. Adventism planned it a long time ago. They planned it a long time ago. Because witches are eaters. They're eaters. They clean. They do a lot of work. They clean. They're eaters. And then they took up witchcraft in Adventism and demons and so on in 2001. There's these teachings that they took up in the church, along with their different means and ways of preaching, where they rise up and it's like it's a church of the the churches the churches that are known as, well, it is the churches, but I forget. They rise up and then they shout and they shout and they shout. That methodology of preaching, and the methodologies of all sorts of different methodologies. That's what Adventism took up. So when they took that up and other things that they took up witchcraft, and they have prepared it a long time ago, eat up that prophet plan a long time ago. So when Jeff is crying in 2019 because Parminder and Tess have decimated his movement, and then Parminder and Tess are not dancing, they're slow-mies, they're dancing. Now they want to go to social media. Now Adventism is amazed. They love this. They take up through the lead of influencers like Isipo. There was a lady called Isipo. She lives here in Amanumtata now. She lives here in like Butterworth. I don't know if she's still here. Her home is on Butterworth. And she was studying at like East London or something. She took up and she said, she's work. And then when she says she's woke, it is amazing. They're taking up being woke, because now the Church of Adventism is going to tell this girl who's just come up. The woke movement only just appeared in 2019, 2018. Very, very young girl. Can you imagine? 2018, 19, 20, 21. The girl's only just 4 years old, and Harrod's already asking her, what does she want? He can give her about half of his kingdom. When President Trump talks about the elections in America, he says something like, but you're king. Everyone calls you king. Talk about President Biden. Everyone calls you king. You are known as king. President Biden is looking at the woke movement, and he cannot wait. He can't wait to enter into the office 2021 and be woke. He can't wait. So everything that President Trump had planned to do in having a second term of him being president, with the push on him being King Trump, as everyone's saying that he's pushing to be a monarch in America, had to stop and wait. It had to wait because he could not wait any other year to enter into office, other than the time when the woke movement just come up. They were just babies, 4 years old, just a 4-year-old girl. They love children, really, really love children. Prodigy, a prodigy girl, 4-year-old come up, and they just took the world by storm overnight. It didn't took so long for the woke movement to take up Jeff's movement, decimate it, and leave with about over 700,000 of his subscribers on YouTube. Here on YouTube, And I'm just thinking, I only just have 241 right now, 241 subscribers. And Jeff was just sitting there for 30 years growing subscribers. And right on his 30th year, when his subscribers have grown to 700,000, the work movement takes all of those subscribers overnight. And so did President Biden and his work 2021 to 2024 to decimate Republicans, decimate. He's going around. He's saying he wants to suck up money from all of these rich people. They must be highly taxed. They must be all of these things. And he's just under the spirit and influence of the work movement. So it was a surprise, Pominder, because Pominder never had any problems with me. We met in 2017 and it was at Zimbabwe. That was the first time I met Pominder and I never spoke to him that much there. One thing that made Pominder love me so much, I think he loved me, is because I was best friends. Almost I feels like I was best friends with Bakang. But Bakang was just very fond of me. And Bakang was Paminda's best friend. So I think it is just that friendship. So it became very personal. So you can imagine. Did Clayton have a choice? My father's gonna get killed. Is this girl here? And talk goes here to there. And I can figure it out that maybe she is a girl that might just shake Pominder off his tracks and save. And I'm saving my father. And Clayton probably doesn't know because he wasn't at the camp meeting 2017 and wasn't at the camp meeting in, I think it was 2018, I'm not sure. But there was a camp meeting that was here in KZN that I went to. And that's when I started talking to Pominder. So talk moves from side to side, and he figures out she's a black girl, and Paminder's promoting black women now for them to start leading in his movement. And maybe this girl is a girl who might end up just being alive just because she's black, and not have to work so hard as us when we're white men to just live, because all these people probably will recognize this girl even. It's crazy. It's crazy. They ran. So I feel this beating, just as soon as he kicks me out of the movement, the groups. And I think by the time that he kicks me out, the entourage that was coming to destroy was already at the door, and I didn't know it. They were already at the door, and I didn't know it. He kicks me out, and everything's diverted. Wait, who's who? Besides, this girl's getting destroyed. Yeah, let's go with that girl. What would they have done? Because I'm getting destroyed in my body. I feel it. I even feel it right now. with the move from the separation or what I said on my Facebook account, I'm gonna tell you guys right now what I said, because you probably don't know. So, so I do believe that I am a type of this of Esther, Queen of Haman for America. But the context at which Haman wants to kill the uncle, and the Jews, destroy the Jews, and that is targeted probably to Haman also, um, affects directly me, because um, when Parminder was doing what he was doing, decimating the movement and everything, and President Biden started to think of all these great ideas, wonderful ideas. You just think of food. You just think of eating. He's not thinking of anything else. He just wants money and food and eating and whatever it is. So that's money, pretty much. Clayton didn't think about anything else but to save his father. Unfortunately, he pushed me in the deep end and didn't know I could swim. I've been swimming, guys, since I was grade 3. I learned how to swim grade 3. When I arrived at my school, I couldn't swim. In grade 4, I was already swimming to the other end, but my strides were not perfect. So, and also I couldn't look in the water. I still was very scared looking in the water. So I was sent to the intermediate swimming. I went, and I was taught, and I learned how to look underwater, and I learned how to swim. Now I can swim, guys. I can swim now. But sitting here, I'm a Jeff Pippinger, Queen of Haman for America. And at the time when the Bible says you save yourself, I saved them from death. And that is not my job. That's not my job. So when you talk about heroism, heroism when heroism is called to take place, not heroism out of stupidity. But when I'm sitting here, I'm probably a Jeff, guys. Yeah. So yeah, I think I should just share this in my videos. Other than that, guys, at the end of next week, I want to buy wool and do 2 blocks for the bubonic plague blanket and add to it for the month of July. And then I'll do the next 2 blocks for August at the end of August, probably. It's so sad, guys. There's a level of distraction came to me far beyond I cannot even explain the extent at which the tech companies, do they know? So wondering. And then I talked about $50 million. And then I talked about Esther. And people started talking on my sayings, what I just said, to add it. And yet it adds and it goes to witchcraft. And I said, they must rather crucify my messages. When you hear my messages, you'll be like barren terminology. And then the influence on my messages goes as your influence comes, so that it's more of a conflict than it is you killing me with my words. But that's what happened. And it's not just words now, it's also actions, it's also character, it's also personality. And now the list goes on and on and on to the greatest depths of insanity. And now I'll be saying, am I a Jeff? No. Now am I President Biden? Now am I? So guys, it's crazy. It really is crazy. It really is crazy. So it's good that I talk about these things, so that if I wake up tomorrow and I'm like crazy, you know, you're like, uh-oh, what just happened now? Innocent, very innocent, clean. Oh, he probably wants to marry me. A divorcee wants to marry me. His father says he's a Republican. He says in the videos he's a Republican. He's white supremacist. He's a divorcee. He's a white supremacist. And here I am. She thinks that you wouldn't take me, a black woman. And she's a black girl. After all, why would I care about her? She's a black girl. It's heroism. She's our hero. Better she die and we live. She's in Africa. You can just hear how one of the brothers, Daniel Fontenot, he says something like, when I share with him my messages, he says, what? A person in Africa? God would never. A person in Africa? God calls a person in Africa? God has called someone here in America to lead in this time, not a person in Africa. Republicans, I'm a Republican also, but I'm not black supremacist. I'm not in PAN. I'm not in PAN. Then the Republican Party and they become white supremacists. We see supremacies. We understand where supremacy is. But we don't become supremacists. We don't. I see the Ku Klux Klan. I see the black supremacists. They'll say, oh, there's a black Jesus. There's no white Jesus. There's a black Jesus. Why should we follow white men? That's what they believe. They're supremacists. They're white supremacists. We see them because we are in the Republican Party. And the Democrats are not so far away from the Republican Party, especially during the time of famine. We see them, but we are not supremacists. I'm not a supremacist. So I'm just telling you guys so you guys know what has been going on. My phone's battery is like 20%. This is told me right now. I was sharing my messages, moving, in pain. So much pain. all of these distractions come and kill Jeff. Who knows who Jeff is representing? All these other people who were coming to be killed. And I just realized this, excuse me, and I just said, um, maybe we just have all these demons come in, and then all of these areas that are coming in, all these areas that are dark and wicked and evil, are identified through these demons that come in our body during a cleansing, and then they leave. It is what you believe, guys. It's what you believe. It's what I believe. It's what we believe. There's a time I'm talking about 666. There's really something on the roof. It's making a lot of noise. Sounds like it is a rat. I feel like it's trying to open up in the roof, on our ceiling. I don't know what it is, guys. There were big rats right by the tree. We have an orange tree, and they were like really big rats. They were this big, and they were like, one went down the wall, and I was like, oh my goodness, they're so big. It would go down the wall running, and then go kadoom on the floor because it's like big, you know. And there were like two of them. The other one also ran down the wall. They ran on this like on an angle because they can't run down the fall. They're big. Maybe this is one. Maybe this is a rat on the ceiling, on my room ceiling. I can hear it. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I was looking and I was seeing the day of the Lord. So I understand it's 666. And I just want to sit in the toilet. It just feels strange because it's just from time to time I smell poo. I smell poo. I just don't even want to swear and say stuff like poo, the S word, you know. But that's probably what people are realizing now as they see what's going on. And she's sitting there, guys. She's sitting in the toilet. And I am pretty much sitting in the toilet. But this smell is really, it is really bad. The smell of poo and pee. I can imagine sitting there and everyone's buttocks are on me. And they're just pooing and peeing on me. Oh my goodness. In the toilets, you can imagine it is so bad. Very bad. It's very disgusting, but even just think about it. But literally that is what's going on. I can imagine my children looking. Gets darker and darker and darker. Everyone's gonna be sitting there, Queen of Famine. As they sit there and just poo and pee in the toilets. My messages on cock and piss. And I talk about that. From the eye level, I should like my job. But I should like my job. For the good things. The good things. The good things about it. The good things about it. bad things about it is I could be in a surge right now. I don't know where I am in the, I mean, I'm sitting here in person, but where am I? Where am I? Actually, my mind keeps believing it. I feel like the body is just here, but where am I now? Am I in a sewage dump? Am I swimming in poo? I don't know, you know. But that's what my study on toilet is. I learned that from Ezekiel. And I find Queen of Haman for America with the demons. I might very well be the one who's. I don't know what happened to Ezekiel. But I console myself by thinking about what God says to Ezekiel. He says he must eat his poo in bread. Take his poo and make bread out of it and eat it. So maybe that's something that I'm going to learn how to do. I want to learn how to do it. I was researching. I found something online. I think it was Reddit. One lady is talking about how lovely cow dung bread is from Italy. And that's exactly what I eat as a vegetarian. Ezekiel says to God in Ezekiel 4 verse 4, he says, but I'm a vegetarian. I can't eat my poo. And God says, well, if you're a vegetarian, then you can take cow dung and knead it in your flour and make bread out of it. And that's what Ezekiel did. So I don't know how he did it. So I'm going to learn from, I'm just research, and then maybe I'm going to make my own bread, cow dung bread. In this journey of like becoming a farm girl, it is about what you believe. On Friday evening, 6, I start the day of the Lord. And this is where my study 666 takes place. I don't share the study, I just practice it. It's the day of the Lord. It starts on Friday evening at 6 and ends on Sunday evening at 6. And then throughout the week, it's work that goes on throughout the week. So I'm gonna share it again. I think I shared it once. I'm gonna share it again. So what we believe. On Friday, influence comes in, and it's President Trump, the Republicans, Great Awakening, New World Order, Enlightenment books, MAGA, Catholics, so on. And Saturday, it's President Biden, LGBTQ plus, Indian people's religion, and their religions are Buddha and so on. Hackers and scammers, thieves and robbers, witches, disabled people come in, and Catholics come in also. Then from midday Sunday to the rest of the week, it's the Shagan countries, and I'll put King Frederick, but not necessarily. So Shagan countries and the Republicans, and yeah, I think that is it. It is what you believe. So someone can start pinning themselves into these sections, and they will destroy you. Will destroy you. Because you don't say LGBTQ plus or let me LGBTQ plus. No. You say what you believe, who you are, and then LGBTQ plus will pass you by because you're not a part of them and you've already stated what you are, and that becomes your protection. So I think that is how I understand, and that is how clear I am on these issues. You listen to my video right now. So people listen to my videos and you say, "Oh, she said in her messages this influence and that influence on Friday," and then you go and you on Friday you say something about, "Oh, Catholics this and Catholics that." They will destroy you. They will destroy you. You protect yourself by talking about what you believe, and then whatever else that doesn't form a part of you is going to pass you by. Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about in addition to what I just shared, and I think I'm now fine with that. I'm happy with how I shared it. So I was just thinking and thinking and thinking, and I think I'm really happy with what we've done so far. I'm very happy. I was listening to channel 104.5. It's one of the most warmest channels ever. And if you can remember, I spoke about how when we think about the wars, when we think about the leaders of Republican Democrats, um, the the Democrats will go and lead with a Republican monarch, and the Republicans will go and lead with a Democrat monarch. So when I just keep sharing and sharing and sharing about these things, it is very important to me, that I just keep sharing and sharing, find reason, understanding on why these things happen this way. Um, the channel is very warm. Democrats are very cold. So yeah, I want to be around other kids. Other kids are listening to Channel 104 in Umtata. It's very warm. I'm listening to Channel 104 too. I was listening to Channel 102. Channel 102s were very, very cold. Um, Maybe it was because I couldn't understand Afrikaans, but it was very cold. And then I remembered the DA, Democratic Alliance here in South Africa. It actually started out as a Republican Party, so they're not entirely Democrats. Democrats are entirely Democrats as the ANC with their Indian leaders, and EFF with their Africa leaders. So they are very, very warm. So the parties are very cold. The stations are very warm. I really enjoyed it. I'm still listening to the channel and the influence coming in. And I just talk about Adventism, and that method of going up, 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 up is a way of preaching. Um, that's how I heard the preachers the other day, Sunday. And I didn't have any judgment towards them. I didn't have any judgment. When I identify Adventism and say, when they preach, they go up, 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 it's to identify what that means. It's not to judge them. They decided what they want to decide. God judged them. God judges them. Hello, hello, Croco. Thank you for the compliment. God judges them. I identify what they've done, and if it means anything, that's what I talk about too. So I think the the more I stick to what I know, stick to what I know, it's better. It's better for me. So I love it. I love it that way. Guys, I am thinking of sharing my music. So I want to check if I cannot play a song for you right now. It's like over just an hour. This channel is a channel of music. Sharing my music with you guys. I've been sharing my lives now and be sharing my life. This is like, I don't have a board yet, but when I do have a board, I want to share with you guys my studies and everything on Queen of Haman for America. So these lives are very relevant for that. I want to see, let me first see if the last time I checked, I think I didn't have my file. I don't know though, let me check. I probably do. No, I do have my file. When I left Maritzburg, I had a few songs that I started playing, and then I shared it here, guys. I didn't share my lives, you know. I didn't share my lives. So I was like thinking, when I share my songs on my videos, like, and I'm not sharing my lives, it really doesn't seem real. I haven't even practiced, but these songs, they have like very, very basic, basic chords. And guys, I must say, this is like, um, it's like a Vespers songs. I don't know if you know Vespers. Let's pass it on. I played Amazing Grace just 2 days ago, and oh, I felt so warm. I felt so warm. I just felt like God is near me and is just hugging me. Guys, I felt so warm. Need to talk a little bit more about God now. Find myself just getting kicked out by someone that I just met. Imagine, I met this guy in January. On May, I already feel I'm dead. It's not good. Okay, there's this song called Lord, I Lift Your Name on High. I don't know if you guys know it. You came from heaven to earth to show the way. From the earth to the cross, my debt to pay. From the cross to the grave, from the grave to the sky. Lord, I lift your name on high. Let me play it. I don't know where to put my teddy bear. I wonder if my guitar is gonna my microphone is gonna pick up my guitar. I haven't practiced this song. And I'll practice it a little bit. Hello, everyone who's just come in. I'm gonna play for you, Lord, I lift your name on high. As to share that I haven't practiced a song, and so from this point, I'm gonna be singing just impromptu. Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I love to sing your praises. I'm so glad you're in my life. I'm so glad you came to save us. You came from heaven to earth to show the way. From the earth to the cross, I dare to pay. From the cross to the grave, from the grave to the sky. Lord, I lift your name on high. You came from heaven to earth to show the way. From the earth to the cross, my debt to pay. From the cross to the grave, from the grave to the sky. Lord, I lift your name on high. Okay, that's the song, guys. Oh my goodness. Love it, love it, love it. I hope it warms you guys. It is so cold. Thank you for liking and subscribing Vegan Christianity. I'm grateful for your support. Let me just put my guitar on the side. I'm gonna pack it up just now. Guys, this brings my life to an end. I'm very grateful that you guys have come and supported me and you listen to my stories, me venting when I come out with new fresh stories. And I say the same thing over and over again. I repeat the same thing over and over again. I'm very grateful, you guys. You very, very lovely. Great support. I'm gonna be going live again tomorrow. I actually went and got advance, so now I can go live for at least 7 days. So I'm very happy about that. Even during the day, I'll be going live for some days. So I'll see you guys in the next live. And hopefully in the next live, we're going to continue with the Book of Esther and listen to more of my music. And I'm thinking next year I'm going to be crocheting more. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a lot of studies on my lives. I hope I will be, but I know I'll be doing that with me crocheting also. So I'll be showing you a lot of my products. This year, I just went very quickly. I did a lot of my products. I did doll clothes. I made a few items for Easter. I made an Easter basket, and I made these handbags. So I did a lot of items this year, but very quickly in a very, very short time. So I'm going to be, I want to get a mannequin. I want to get mannequins next year. Mannequin that's life size and a doll size mannequin. So I can blow up my designs that I made this year. my adult designs that I made this year and blow them up to become life size um, designs. And hopefully, you guys are going to be with me when I am also modeling those. So, have a lot planned, have a lot we're going to be doing here. Thank you so much for joining my live. See you in the next one. Goodbye.